Maya wiped the sweat from her brow as she stepped out of the crowded bus, her worn-out sandals barely protecting her feet from the hot asphalt. Life as a single mother wasn't easy. Long hours at the diner barely covered rent, groceries and school supplies for her little son. Yet she kept moving forward with a stubborn kind of hope that somehow things would get better. As she turned the corner, the sweet, sticky scent of caramel hit her nose. There he was, Liam, standing behind his small candy apple cart, the red apples gleaming in the sunlight. His smile was infectious, his laughter ringing out like a melody over the clamor of the street vendors. Maya couldn't help but pause, drawn in by the warmth he seemed to radiate. And just like that, something fluttered inside her, an unfamiliar, thrilling curiosity. Hey, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to this channel, A Bite of Tasty Stories, for more juicy tales you won't want to miss. Over the next few days, Maya found herself stopping by Liam's cart more often. He had a way of making every customer feel special. Sometimes juggling apples and cracking jokes, sometimes offering a free treat to a struggling child nearby. His humor was light, his kindness genuine. It wasn't long before Maya realized she was laughing more than she had in months, and that her heart was quietly starting to care. Of course, the warnings began almost immediately. Her best friend scoffed, "Maya, he's just a street vendor. You can't build a future on caramel apples and smiles." Even her aunt chimed in with grim advice about security and stability. But Maya shook her head, smiling to herself. Something about Liam felt different, like a secret the universe was keeping just for her. Poverty, labels and warnings didn't matter. Her heart had already chosen. And so, between the bustling streets and sticky sweet candy apples, a spark had been lit, one that neither Maya nor anyone around her could ignore. The days rolled by, and what began as friendly greetings soon melted into something warmer, sweeter and impossible to ignore. Maya found herself lingering around Liam's cart even when she had nowhere to go, pretending to check her phone, pretending to wait for a bus that wasn't coming, pretending she wasn't secretly hoping he'd turn that bright smile toward her. He always did. Their conversations grew deeper than the street noise surrounding them. They talked about dreams they couldn't afford, fears they rarely admitted, and memories they had never shared with anyone else. Sometimes Liam would walk her home after her shift, holding 2 cups of cheap ice cream as if it were a luxury dessert meant for royalty. Other nights, they sat by the roadside, laughing until their stomachs hurt over stories from their childhoods. And without even realizing it, Maya started looking forward to those moments more than anything else in her day. One evening, as twilight dipped the city in shades of gold and purple, their hands brushed for the first time, accidentally, lightly, but enough to send a jolt through both of them. Neither pulled away. Instead, Liam gently took her hand, his thumb brushing over her knuckles as if afraid she'd disappear. Maya felt heat rush to her cheeks. She didn't know if she should speak, so she didn't. She just let him hold her, and the silence between them said everything. A few days later came the shy kiss. It wasn't planned. It wasn't dramatic. It was simply a moment when Liam looked at her with eyes that saw straight through her pain, her past and her worries, and she leaned in before fear could stop her. The kiss was soft, trembling and painfully beautiful. From that moment on, love found them in the simplest places. In shared street snacks, in late-night talks, in smiles exchanged across a busy sidewalk. Yet Maya couldn't help noticing odd things about Liam, little clues that didn't match his poor vendor life. He used oddly refined words sometimes. He knew things about expensive places he said he'd never visited. He once comforted a crying tourist in flawless French. And one evening, when Maya jokingly asked how he learned it, he gave a half-smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He brushed it off. People had secrets. She wasn't ready to question his. All she knew was that Liam made her feel seen, valued, and cherished in a way no one else ever had. And if that meant ignoring a few strange signs, then so be it. Their love was growing, fast, bright, and dangerously deep. The deeper Maya fell for Liam, the more the cracks began to show, not in their love, but in the story he'd told the world about himself. It started with little things. One evening, when Maya jokingly invited him to try her favorite cheap food joint, Liam smiled politely but barely touched the meal. Instead he described, far too vividly, how the spices reminded him of a Michelin-starred dish from a restaurant most people only saw on TV. Maya blinked. How would a candy apple vendor know that? Liam simply said, "Oh, I read a lot." Then there were his hands, soft, clean, and strangely well kept. Not hands that spent all day handling caramel in street carts. Not hands that matched the life he claimed to live. Mysterious absences followed. Some days, Liam would disappear without warning, returning hours later with an apologetic smile and vague excuses. I had to meet someone. Something urgent came up. It's complicated, Maya. But he never explained further. Curiosity grew into suspicion and suspicion grew into quiet fear. Maya tried to ignore it, because she loved him, because love made her believe excuses that didn't quite make sense. But the questions gnawed at her. Everything finally shook when her coworker Rita, a woman who loved gossip as much as oxygen, pulled Maya aside. Your candy apple boyfriend, she smirked, isn't what he seems. Maya's heart stalled. What do you mean? Rita leaned closer. Someone like him doesn't speak 3 languages. Someone like him doesn't vanish for hours and return in clean clothes. And have you seen his watch? She lifted a brow. That thing is not cheap. I'd bet my salary he's hiding something. Maya laughed it off, but her smile trembled. Rita's words hit the nerves Maya had been trying to silence. That night, while Liam walked her home, Maya asked gently, "Who are you really?" Liam froze mid-step. A shadow crossed his eyes. Fear, guilt, maybe both. For a moment he looked like a man carrying a burden far heavier than a candy apple cart. Maya, he whispered, I want to tell you everything. I do. But I'm scared. Scared of what? That once you know the truth, you won't look at me the same. He reached for her hand, gripping it as if anchoring himself. I don't want to lose you. Maya's heart squeezed painfully. She wanted to ask more questions. She wanted to demand the truth. But the fear in his voice, the fear in his eyes, it stopped her. She simply nodded. Whenever you're ready, Liam. I'll listen. But inside her chest, her heartbeat whispered a warning. Whatever he was hiding, it was big. And soon it would tear their world wide open. The truth didn't slip out gently, it exploded. It happened on a Saturday morning when the streets were unusually loud. Maya had just finished buying groceries for the week when she noticed a crowd gathering near a large outdoor screen. People were whispering, pointing, gasping. Her heart stilled when she saw the video playing. There, dressed in a tailored suit and walking through a glass building surrounded by reporters, was Liam. Not street vendor Liam. Not candy apple Liam. This Liam spoke confidently into microphones, flanked by security guards. This Liam stepped out of luxury cars. This Liam looked powerful. The headline beneath the video hit Maya like a punch. Liam Harrington, the elusive young billionaire, finally appears to announce his company's new global expansion. Her grocery bag slipped from her hand. Apples rolled across the pavement. The world spun. People around her murmured. Isn't that the candy apple guy from Market Street? No way, he's been a billionaire this whole time. Why would he pretend to be poor? Maya staggered back, her breath shallow, her throat burning with betrayal. Liam Harrington. He had a last name the whole world apparently knew, except her. She didn't even realize she was crying until someone bumped into her and she tasted tears on her lips. By the time she reached his candy apple cart, now abandoned, her phone buzzed. Liam, Maya, please. Let me explain. Maya, where are you? He sent an address. A quiet rooftop. The place they sometimes met when he said he wanted fresh air. Her legs shook as she climbed the stairs, her heart breaking with every step. Liam stood there, still in the suit from the video, his hair slicked back, his expression haunted. Maya, please don't go. She didn't speak. Couldn't. The pain was too raw. He stepped forward, voice trembling. I wanted to tell you. Every day I wanted to tell you. But every time I looked at you, I realized how peaceful it felt to be seen as just a man. Not a headline. Not a bank account. Not a target. Maya swallowed hard, her voice shaking. You lied to me, Liam. You let me believe you were someone struggling like me when you were. A billionaire? He finished softly. Yes, I am. And I hated every second of it. She laughed bitterly through her tears. You hated being rich? I've spent my whole life fighting to survive. And you hid behind poverty like it was some kind of costume. His shoulders sagged as though her words crushed something inside him. I wasn't hiding from you. I was hiding from everyone else. Maya. I needed to know if someone could love me without the money. Without the name. And then you came along, kind, stubborn, beautiful, and for the first time in years I felt seen. Not as Liam Harrington, but as Liam. Her silence was louder than shouting. He stepped closer, eyes pleading. I fell in love with you as the man I truly am, not the man the world forces me to be. Please, believe that. Maya wiped her face, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. Liam's voice cracked. I'll earn it back. Whatever it takes. Just, don't walk away. Not yet. The city lights glowed behind him, but all Maya saw was the man who broke her heart. And the man she still desperately, painfully loved. She turned away, unsure if she could forgive him, or if this secret had shattered them beyond repair. For days after the truth came crashing down, Maya moved through life as if she were made of glass. Fragile, cracked, and unsure whether she would break entirely. She replayed every moment with Liam, every laugh, every kiss, every whispered confession under the city lights. Had any of it been real? Had she fallen in love with a lie, or with the man behind it? She sat alone in her small apartment one evening, watching her son draw on the floor. When he looked up and asked, Mommy, where's the candy apple man? Her heart squeezed painfully. Liam hadn't been perfect. He'd made a choice that hurt her. But he never treated her like she was less. He had shown up, listened, cared. He had loved her, not with money but with sincerity. Slowly Maya began to understand. He wasn't hiding the truth to mock poverty. He was hiding from a life that had never allowed him to be human. And she had been the one person who saw him without the gold, the privilege, or the noise of his empire. One evening, unable to take the ache anymore, Maya returned to their rooftop. Liam was there, sitting alone, shoulders tense, staring at the city he owned but felt distant from. When he turned and saw her, his breath left his chest. Maya. She stepped closer. I'm still hurt, she whispered honestly. But I've been thinking. I know what it feels like to want someone to love you for who you are. Not what you have. Or don't have. Liam's eyes softened, full of hope and guilt. I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted something real, she finished. I get it. For a long moment they simply looked at each other, the wind brushing past them, carrying all the unspoken words. Then Maya reached out and took his hand. We can try again, she said softly. But this time, no secrets. No masks. Just us. Liam's voice broke as he whispered, I promise you honesty. I promise you everything. He pulled her into his arms, holding her as if she were the anchor that kept him grounded. Maya felt warmth flood through her, not from wealth or luxury, but from the depth of a love that had survived truth, hurt, and fear. In that embrace, two worlds blended. Hers built on struggle and grit, his built on privilege and expectation. And for the first time they felt like one future. Weeks later, Liam introduced Maya to his world. Not with grandeur but with humility. He brought her to his boardroom, only to show her he was still the same man who once sold candy apples on the street. He helped her set up a small business of her own, something she'd always dreamed of. He played with her son, laughing like the carefree vendor she'd fallen for. They rebuilt slowly, carefully, brick by brick. Love, trust, forgiveness. No disguises. No half-truths. No walls. And as they stood together on the rooftop one sunset, hand in hand, Maya realized something powerful. It was never about money. It was about the heart beneath everything. And his had always belonged to her. If you enjoyed this beautiful story of love, forgiveness, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, A Bite of Tasty Stories, for more captivating stories.